A very good afternoon here from Gunung Padang in Indonesia. We are about 3 hours south of the capital of Jakarta, where we find this mysterious mountain. You might have clicked on my video after seeing a Netflix series, Ancient Apocalypse, or maybe another YouTube video that's talking about this mountain being a pyramid with chambers inside. I'm not sure about that part, but I'm sure this site behind me is thousands of years old, so let's explore today. Let's go. This is the infamous or famous now Gunung Padang site. We have a choice here, the steep stairs or the normal stairs. I think I'll take the normal one. Ambil yang ini deh, biar santai ya. And here we see the first evidence of a really old civilization building freaking stairs. Oh no, that's relatively new, all the way up there. Holy crap. This is the first shelter, about 150 meters in. But the thing is, we started here. No, we are here. The site's right over there. It's just that it's really high up and you have to walk around it. Let's see how spectacular this looks from above. And the last stairs are those stones that were formed by a volcano. It was at this moment already that I had my first regrets. Having no condition that allows me to climb, I needed to sit down to avoid bad things from happening. I just needed a few minutes to catch my breath in the fresh air here. We are currently standing on a hill and we are surrounded by huge pieces of natural stone that are oddly shaped for being purely natural. In recent years, numerous theories have popped up around this site that was documented in the late 19th century as being an early Hindu shrine by Dutch historian Rogier Verbeek. Now there are stories about this site being fully man-made and dating back over 25,000 years, making this thousands of years older than the pyramids in Egypt we all know. This is the Gunung Padang megalithic site in West Java, Indonesia. It is the site of an extinct volcano located in a mountainous region about 120 kilometers southeast of Indonesia's capital Jakarta. The region between the population centers of Sukabumi to the west and Bandung to the east is fairly thinly populated and is quite forested, but people have been living here for thousands of years. Gunung Padang has featured in the 2022 Netflix series Ancient Apocalypse with alternative history advocate and journalist Graham Hancock, who based this episode on work of Indonesian geologist Hilman Natawidjaja. More on his work later. A thing to keep in mind from here on, quite a few of Hancock's claims have been debunked over the years. Fellow YouTuber Milo Rossi, also known as miniminuteman, has an entire series debunking Ancient Apocalypse on his channel. I'll link to that in the description. Go watch him as well, after my video of course. Except for one chainsaw in the distance, there's no sign of human activity here, which makes it absolutely a fabulous place to spend an hour or two. And as you see, I'm trying to walk here, which isn't easy because of all these naturally formed basaltic blocks. These are the remainder of a very old volcano. Gunung Padang volcano that used to be here is extinct, but it doesn't mean other volcanoes in the area aren't active, because there's a bunch of active volcanoes here, of course. Before we continue with this video, the mountain in the thumbnail is named Gunung Padang. It sure does look like a pyramid, I won't disagree with you there, but there's always a but. This exact mountain is roughly 40 kilometers away as the crow flies from the megalithic site that is also known as Gunung Padang. The one which Graham Hancock, miniminuteman, Natawidjaja and me are talking about. I can even prove this easily, as the mountain you see mentioned as the pyramid is clearly heavily cultivated with numerous agricultural plots and terraces on its slopes. The Gunung Padang megalithic site is located on a relatively forested hill, as you can see from a Google Earth image you see in front of you now. This is the first obvious thing you would find out if you actually did basic research or visited the site like I did. Okay, I'll admit it was only a 4-hour drive by car, and then 4 hours back. But don't get fooled by some of the videos you see out there throwing these together as if they are one and the same thing. If you were cheated into believing that the mountain that looks like a pyramid is the subject of all the videos you have seen of Gunung Padang by now, assuming mine isn't the first one to pop up in your feed, then I have to disappoint you by telling you that those previous videos didn't do a very good job in making this very clear. That deserves a like and subscribe all on itself, right? Do hit that subscribe button then, and also make sure to like this video. The Gunung Padang site nowadays is still a place where religious activities take place, be it at a fairly inconspicuous level. For some Muslims, it's a religious site that is visited during little pilgrimages, ziarah in Indonesian. Every once in a while, you will also see people offer their prayers to one of the few marked sacred sites. This is marked as cultural, as Islam, as the main religion, does not allow for idolatry where trees, mountaintops, rivers, lakes and seas play an important role in, for example, local animist beliefs, and more specific to the region we are in, Kejawen, which is an amalgamation of animistic, Buddhist, Hindu and Islamic aspects. Other people travel to the hilltop with its green terraces to simply admire what their ancestors have built here over the millennia, but not because they are religious or believe that there is anything mystical here. But if you do hear a murmur in between the sounds of nature, you know you're probably not entirely alone up there. And probably I'm stating the obvious. I'm merely a tourist, not a geologist, volcanologist, nor anthropologist. I just happen to live near the Gunung Padang site and have found it of interest ever since I first read about it years ago, long before Ancient Apocalypse was even a thing on Netflix. But because it's an increasingly popular subject, I gave it a visit and came to my own conclusions. Right over there is the first terrace. Second one is where we are, and number 3, 4 and 5 are over there. This might look like a man-made table or seat. It's about knee high, but this is a typical basaltic material produced by a volcano. This is old lava and magma that has solidified into a crystalline form and has been put upright probably, but that's another issue. This site is characterized by multiple layers and terraces, with the terraces being visible and layers built upon the previous one. The structures are arranged in a stepped formation resembling the layers of a Latin American pyramid. This layering has led some to draw parallels with the step pyramids found in various ancient cultures. This site is also an extinct volcano, one of the many extinct and active volcanoes in the region, which can clearly be seen by numerous similar outcrops in the area. Although they weren't converted into a terraced complex by humans, they do show the common natural occurrence of geology and materials found at the Gunung Padang site. It is no secret that Indonesia has seen numerous thriving kingdoms dating back at least a few thousand years. The island of Sumatra, for example, was part of the Javadvipa and Svarnadvipa Hindu kingdoms that appeared in writing as far back as 200 BCE, with evidence of civilizations dating back to 9000 BCE. Nowadays, the majority of peoples in Indonesia is Austronesian, which probably arrived from Taiwan as far back as 2000 BCE. There are many Neolithic sites that date back at least as far. I visited one of these sites in West Java a few years ago, so a link to that video is in the description below, of course. Villages were built, places of worship were built. But would a far older, ancient civilization be able to build a huge site like Gunung Padang? And if they could, did they really do it? It's perfectly possible and plausible that cultures would have constructed a temple, gravesite or something else on a hillside, as that's pretty common. Did they construct the entire hill as well? That's a completely different story, so let's find out. This is the fourth terrace, fourth level, which is out in the open. There's no shadow here except for this little corner. And there also is a stone in the middle. That stone is named Batu Kanuragan. As this is an old volcano, erosion has taken place, of course, over the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of years. So what you see might be natural. Well, it's partially natural and it's partially man-made, of course. I still really like it though, that the fact that there are just
stones that are shaped like this, long columns. Would be amazing to have those in my garden, but I shouldn't take them from here, that's for sure. The Neolithic site.
A few researchers and alternative history enthusiasts promote that Gunung Padang is an ancient pyramid, potentially older than the Egyptian pyramids. This theory suggests advanced ancient civilizations may have been responsible for its construction over a period of many thousands of years. Supporters of the ancient pyramid hypothesis often speculate that an advanced ancient civilization, possibly predating known civilizations, was responsible for the construction of Gunung Padang. This idea challenges mainstream historical timelines and suggests the existence of advanced cultures that left behind little or no conventional archaeological evidence. The pyramid hypothesis has created controversy within the scientific community even before going viral on Netflix. Many archaeologists and geologists are skeptical of the claim, emphasizing the need for rigorous scientific investigation and evidence. To start with, it is a known fact that the actual hilltop and basaltic andesite stone formations are the summit of an extinct volcano. This does not confirm the age of the cultural layers that are said to have been found and dated here over a decade ago. A cultural layer here refers to a specific layer of sediment or soil that contains evidence of human activity, such as artifacts, fossils, or other cultural remains. These layers are often arranged in distinct horizontal layers over time. It is these layers that are studied by anthropologists and geologists alike to understand how different cultures in the area lived.
Just had a little chat with two other foreign tourists that, they came for the same reason as I did. Saw it on YouTube and saw it on Netflix. We are at the 5th terrace and the first clouds are pulling in, so we won't make it really late here because probably it will be raining. Or it will be raining later on, that's almost a given in the mountains here. The 5th terrace here is the highest of them all. And this is also the place where they did the excavations over a decade ago. They say there are chambers below here. 3 of them in the video, they are marked blue. Someone built a house there, that must be the guard. Yeah, it's time to continue my walk. I'm going to that very thing up front, the very first terrace there. I haven't been there yet.
In the next episode, we will dive even deeper into what Gunung Padang is supposed to be and what it really is, based on the evidence I gathered. First, we will take a good look at stories that apparently show that there are man-made underground chambers not too far below the surface. We will follow this up by what other scientists have to say about this, and from there I will eventually draw my own conclusions. In the meantime, if you like this somewhat different thing than I normally do, please leave a comment, like and maybe a subscribe. That will help me out a lot. And if you really liked it, you can now also send a super like or super chat to my videos. This is basically a one-time donation that allows me to make more of these deep dives in the future. I hope this works. I hope you can hear me. Let's see if this works. Test, test, test. A very good... Yeah, are we in the shot? I don't think so. We are at Gunung Padang, which is a very good afternoon. Dit geluid moeten we wel doen. Hey, welcome back. Thank you for... No. Let's get right into it. Let's get right into it. No, that's niet goed.